Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and well, back with a new unboxing video because I received mail again, coming in from Salzkotten actually, sent to me by Andreas Davids, aka Xotox, a name that is really familiar to all of you who've been watching my channel for a while, I guess. I've done a remix for him, for his latest album, Ich bin da, ich funktioniere, recently, and yeah, he seems to have a new project out, a new CD, feels like a CD, even though it's like a lightweight one, and well, if I sound a little bit weird and a little bit off, I guess this is the 11th or 12th attempt to shoot this video because I don't know what is happening today, but my mind seems to be all over the place. So let's get through this quick and dirty. But before that, well, I have some news, I guess. I received some news from a promo agency who has been sending me a lot of stuff for my website, NATURA EST, which told me, well, they have sent me the majority of stuff I reviewed on NATURA EST, and they told me, well, a lot of labels aren't willing to send out CDs anymore as promos to journalists and music writers, which is a pity. So they might like have less material for me to review actually, because I'm still like on my firm standpoint to not review anything that is sent to me only digitally. And even though I review digital files or digital releases, I make sure that the labels send me like physical copies on CDR or tape or whatever of those releases to my place, because I simply don't support or don't like the idea of having music only in digital format stored on my computer somewhere, and I cannot access that like quickly because I don't remember where it is, and I just forget about it if it's just a file on my laptop. So well, there might be some less reviews on my website, or I have to like rethink where I want to go with this website. Still, I will be writing music reviews whenever stuff is coming in, but maybe I will also add like several other things to the concept of the site. We'll see. Maybe also reviewing some stuff I've bought like back in the days, or like giving descriptions of that. That would be an idea, but I'm not too sure. I'm still working on the concept. But talking about like buying records, I've been buying more records recently. I've been like restraining myself over the past years, and I'm still on a, well, you don't spend everything you earn on records, even though I could, because there's so much good stuff out there. But I've dedicated a like set percentage of my like freelance income to buying records, and this has been increasing recently, and it feels pretty good to like focus on stuff I have been wanting for a while, like getting stuff from my youth, stuff I missed out on in the 90s because I was a teenager and hadn't much money at all, apart from the pocket money allowance things. And yeah, and this music I've bought, some you have seen on Twitter maybe, is quite inspiring and refreshing. And I've recorded like a DJ mix yesterday, which goes back to the early Euro rave movement, like in the techno rave stuff of the more commercial side in the early 90s in Europe and Germany, and having like added like a few bits here and there to the collection makes doing mixes more interesting again, and not going through the same old, well, not old, but the same pile of records over and over again is quite refreshing, and I really like that. And I will continue to record more mixes, probably more than I could use on the radio, but it's still good fun. And now like adding new records, more and more new records or new old records I haven't played out to those mixes is a thing that's pretty inspiring. And talking about mixes, I've recovered the first part of a radio show I did in Mannheim in April of 2004 on my secondary YouTube channel, baze.djunkiii Classics, and I'm going to link that one in the end card of this video, because even though it's not technically perfect, but well, there's a whole story about the mix like in the description of that video, but it's still like a good example of why I was regarded as one of the hardest and like relentless and merciless drum and bass DJs back in the days. And there's some heavy shit on there, and considering that this was a radio show and this was for me like a warm-up for a club night I had to play later, this is pretty dark stuff. So if you're into hard dark and like totally unhinged music, go watch that video, like, or listen to that video. It's like an hour of a mix, 52 minutes maybe. So, but now let's go into this one. Let's open this quickly with my little blade here. Let's see what is in there. Feels like a CD, a lightweight one. And as I cut in there seems to be more stuff in there, stickers even. And let's start with those maybe, and with flyers as well. So we got some promo stuff for Xotox, Die Strömung der Welt, which was a digital single here, which is like a flyer thing. I will spread that, I guess, in the record store I work at, and I'm gonna work at on Saturday, next Saturday. It's Sunday, by the way, so there's more Xotox stuff. Ich bin da, ich funktioniere. I mentioned the album which also has been hitting the top position on the German alternative charts, where all the like industrial metal non-pop music goes, which is pretty exciting to be on that album and have that album hit a top chart position. This is Natura Est, a project run by Andreas Davids and a fellow producer, which is more like in the dark ambient realm. Here we got his like card, like a manufacturer for electronic music. We got more stickers here, Leben und Sterben für Musik aus Strom, which translates to live and die for like music generated from electricity. And the 25 years Xotox logo as well, because Xotox is celebrating his 25th anniversary with the project. So this is a lot of stuff we got in here, and we got a CD and a little press info. So let's remove that glare, and as I see, this is the new Natura Est project album, so a new album coming out. So let's have a look at the press info, which is interestingly cut here. Limited to 300 copies, this is what I can see, and has been released on October 5th. So this is Tony Young, aka Autoclave 1.1, and Andreas Davids as the Natura Est, the fourth album of the project, which is called The Folly of Mars. They desire to explore and conquer outer space at all costs. So this seems to be a dark ambient album, like dedicated to space and the vastness of the universe, which is interesting. And well, I loved all the Natura Est releases I have received so far, so I presume this is going to be pretty good stuff here. The Folly of Mars, interesting, very darkish and of course dark ambient leaning artwork, released on the Cyclic Law label. Here is the back, and the CD in itself looks like this. There's a triple fold out here. And some info in here. Written and produced by Natura Est, Tony Young and Andreas Davids, mastered by Anatoly Toki Grunberg, which is a very like renowned mastering engineer and activist in the dark ambient industrial scene. And we got a tracklist somewhere here, which contains six tracks. Extinction Concept, With One Eye on the Heavens, The Folly of Mars, which is the title track, We Will End Time, The Fallen Empire of Man, and Sum et Pulvis, which is Latin. I took Latin lessons at school, but I am not able to translate anything anymore. This is the album artwork again, and the CD looks like this. This is pretty tight, so well, it's like a dark gray on black album, which is interesting, but surely hard to read, I guess. The Folly of Mars is very minimalist, but I like that. But one point of criticism which I have for a lot of CDs these days, which come with a like kind of digipack packaging. This space here to put the CD in is super tight. They also had this with the latest album on the Zeitkratzer Productions label by Reinhold Friedel and Kaspar T. Töplitz, which also has this kind of slide-in cover feature for CDs, and a lot of those like Digipack albums which have this slide-in mechanism are super tight, and you're very likely to damage the album when you use that. So there should be a better solution to give the CD a little more wiggle room, like, I don't know, 0.5 millimeter or so, so you don't like tear the CD up if you're not like, or the cover up, if you're not really careful in putting that back in. But this is just a, well, criticism from a technical point of view. I'm very curious to review that. Review will be popping up on my website, KnifeStylesD, as usual, probably within the next days, because, well, I've managed to go through the entire pile of promos I received from various people, so I have like a kind of blank slate I'm dealing with, so I can review like albums in quicker succession after they come in, and I'm curious how this goes and how this like work I've put into my website progresses and stuff. And otherwise, well, you know the score. Stuff from my labels is up there. That named video with my DJ set from back in 2004 is down there somewhere, and if you have any questions or so, just put them down in the description box, and not below the description box, because I'm going to answer them as soon as possible. So Bass Junkie out for now. See you in the next one.